Another week, another trading cycles video. Welcome to week 16 of 2023. Before we go over what we predicted might happen this past week and what we predict might happen this upcoming week, I just want to remind you, as always, that keep in mind, we do not provide financial advice. All the content that we share is intended for educational purposes only, and always trade to price and not to prediction. Gonna hand it off over to you, Urmas, and let's go over kind of what we predicted, what might happen this past week here.
Yes, hello. Yeah, it's week 16 already, and time flies faster than we expected.
It does indeed.
So, how did we end up last week? It was an upside week, as it came out, yeah. So it's all according to our prediction. If I go on daily here, that's what we thought that might happen. So that's been all right, although our cyclical predictions are here now on this chart as well, and they do predict that we might have a little correction coming up later on this week. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen. At the moment, it is quite optimistic on the markets. Last week we had first earnings coming up this earnings season, so that's already started, and a couple of banks announced their earnings, which came out very positive, actually. So that's what we have anticipated, really, because once the Jupiter moves into sign of Taurus, we do expect that banks will do better than the rest of the market. So that's what we're already seeing in this earnings season. And it's not as bad as expected. Obviously, at some point, we do expect that Fed will start pivot. So basically, the rate hikes should end or stop at least at some point this year. And there is a quite good possibility, if not in the beginning of May, then in the mid-June, when is the next meeting, then there's something might break on the markets. At least our cyclical indications are showing that, and we do expect some sort of fall in the beginning of May as well, but it's not likely that it's going to be the major one. I think the major one will be in June. So that's a bit looking further ahead. But yeah, so this week I see that the markets are quite strong, and hopefully the second half of the week wouldn't be too much of a correction. So the next correction that might actually start in the end of April and beginning of May is from 26th of April. So that's quite important turning point here, to keep that in mind. All right, and if the market should fall, then I think the quite important support line is at 3,775 points on S&P 500. So that's something to bear in mind. So that if that breaks, then we are in quite bad trouble. But as long as it holds, then it should be all good. So let's have a look at the gold as well. So gold market obviously has been now in favor. In some cases, obviously the money, as we have said before, needs to go somewhere, and if people have lost their trust in smaller banks, then obviously the money flows to the bigger banks, as we have seen. So that's going well, and also to gold and Bitcoin. So these are the assets or asset classes that at the moment are thriving on that crisis that we have seen in March. And we do expect that gold will keep its way up, at least for the near future. So there are some ups and downs, but obviously from the 25th of April, I think that the upward movement will continue, and that's something to keep a close eye on it. Yeah, that's quite important part at the moment. So yeah, gold is in favor, and obviously central banks all over the world have been accumulating gold as well in a recent, should I say, year. Yeah, so basically during 2022 and now more in 2023 as well. So yes, gold is in favor, but obviously it's not in good position if the bond interests are getting higher, as we have seen. So obviously gold doesn't pay you any dividend or interest there. So that's just to hold your capital in place, so to say, and we
Store of value.
Store of value, yeah. So basically, it's not recommended to keep more than 10% of your assets in gold, but obviously some part of it is quite reasonable to be kept in precious metals. Yeah. So yeah, we do expect that this trend will continue now. So what else? The Bitcoin itself then has been in good position as well, but we do expect that Bitcoin will start, or there should be a pivot point at around 26th as well, where the general market sees some sort of decline. So that should affect Bitcoin this time as well. We'll see how it goes then. And with the market in general, then obviously 50-day moving average of the general market has been now in 40s here, 40% or slightly above. And as the market is quite strong for this week at least, and possibly until midweek next week, so we expect that might rise as well slightly. Then the yield curve is still in negative territory. Yeah? So basically shorter term bonds are paying higher interest than long-term ones. That's what it means. And obviously once that gets back to positive territory, we might be in some sort of trouble, because quite soon after, when this line is broken upside, we should see some sort of decline on the market as well. So again, is it this summer or is it later on this year? It's hard to say, but at some point this yield curve should go on positive territory again, as at the moment it is inverted. So yes, it's not as it should be in normal conditions. Yeah. And WIX has been on the lows here as well, mid-teens, somewhere there, which is quite low already if we look in the recent past. Yeah, so it hasn't been that low for quite a while. Last time it was in January 22 when this decline started. So yeah, that shows that the market is strong and positive as well. Yeah. And in regards earnings, that has now started earnings season this week. Actually today, when we're recording this this overview, we should soon see earnings of Bank of America and Goldman Sachs as well. So these are two biggest banks that are coming up earnings today. I think Bank of America has indicated already, so we can see pre-market data here, that it is already kept higher than it closed yesterday. So positive earnings, and that's what we see from the graph here as well. So the prediction is quite strong and positive for Bank of America as well. Goldman Sachs not so positive, but as I can see, pre-market data shows the same. So they are coming up with earnings, I believe, this morning as well. Yes, pre-market, yeah. So that indicates that they have positive earnings coming up as well. Wednesday we have earnings coming up of Lam Research Corporation. So that's something to keep keep a close eye on, as well as the transits of the first trade chart are quite positive. So that's should be positive trend there as well. On Thursday, we have earnings coming up of American Express, and as we can see from here, trend turns positive as well. So that's good stock to keep an eye on as well. If we get some sort of indication of market turning then up, that might be a good trade to take. Obviously, we don't give any advice here, so you still need to do your own research.
Pretty educational, yeah, of course.
So, and on Friday we got a couple of more companies we are keeping eye on. One of them is HCA Healthcare, and from here we can see as well that from beginning of May the transits are going quite positive. So that might be positive trend there as well. Obviously, the trend has already started, but it might continue then, yeah. And Procter and Gamble as well on Friday. So same thing. So basically, trend is going positive, as we can see. All right. So these are quite important earnings to keep an eye on. And yeah, I think that's about it. And let's see how this week is gonna go. Obviously, yeah, as I said, just to wrap it all up, then keep an eye on yield curve, as at some point it should turn back to normal. Obviously, on SP, the support line is 3,775. If the decline starts in the end of April, then we need to keep a close eye that it doesn't break that level. And yeah, we'll see how this week is going to go. Obviously, the cyclical indication is still telling us that there might be a correction this week as well, but I don't expect it to be too massive. So it should be all under control still.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Urmas, and thank you for listening. As always, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, click the bell notification so you get notified when we upload next, which is every week if you haven't noticed. And yeah, share this video with your grandma, share this video with your dog, share this video with anyone you feel like might benefit from this. And as always, if you have any comments, any recommendations, questions, anything like that, leave those in the comment section, and we'll be sure to reach out to you as soon as we can. But yeah, thank you very much, and have a lovely week.
Have a good week. All right, all the best.
Take care. Bye-bye.